Stephen King and Rejection. Take one. And 3, 2, 1. Hey, Barry Bow here, America's best crime writer. We're here in our Sunshine Room studios in beautiful suburban Folcroft. Today, even though I never met the man, I'm going to tell you about the role that Stephen King played in my becoming a published author. I like to say that I don't like Stephen King's books. Yet, I readily admit that he's one of the most successful authors ever, with more than 50 books to his credit, most of them bestsellers. That said, when I was hospitalized for knee surgery, Hollywood, Florida, back in 1974, one of my family members brought me a copy of Carrie. Had nothing else to do, so I read it. Liked it. A few years later, liked the movie with John Travolta, Sissy Spacek, and Amy Irving. And even later, I read one of his Richard Bachman books, Running Man. Liked it. And later liked the movie with Arnold Schwarzenegger. Loved The Shining. Never read the book. And although I never read The Shawshank Redemption either, loved that movie as well. And a little later, I'll be posting some insider facts about Shawshank. And despite the fact I say I don't like his books, Stephen King played a vital role in my getting published as a writer. My story goes like so. At the age of 42, I decided I wanted to be a mystery writer. So I started doing some research, came across a magazine article about Stephen King. Shortly after it became a bestseller. And the writer asked him how it felt to become an overnight success. Stephen King laughed out loud. Said it took him years of failures to become an overnight success. And then he gave a piece of advice that I took to heart. He said, if anyone out there is thinking about becoming a writer, unless you're willing to take rejection for at least 7 years, don't do it. Because that's how long it took him to become an overnight success. Find something else to do. 7 years of rejection. Well, I'd already made the decision. I was going to be a writer. So I steeled myself to accept rejections for as long as 7 years. And as soon as I started submitting what I called stories to the Alfred Hitchcock and Ellery Queen mystery magazines, I didn't yet know stories had beginning, middles, and ends. I started getting rejection slips. But I didn't look at them as rejections. To me, each one was a badge of courage. I posted each rejection slip on my bulletin board, and I looked at each one as a stepping stone to becoming a published writer. I took correspondence courses. Little by little, I kept learning about writing. It didn't take me 7 years to get my first publishing credit, but I got a string of rejection slips for a good 2 years. Enough that they covered my bulletin board. But if it weren't for reading that advice from Stephen King, I might have quit somewhere along the way. But he laid out the path for me, warned me about the pitfalls, so I give him loads of credit for my eventually becoming a published writer and a published author. And that advice is applicable to many aspects of life. Do some research. Find out what it takes to succeed. Make a plan and follow it. Learn as you go, make corrections when necessary, and succeed. Thank you, Stephen King. So, that's it for today. If you haven't read my first book, Born to be Wild, classic saga about outlaw motorcycle gangs, true story, it's available at Amazon. Thanks for stopping in today. Till next time. See you. And that's a wrap.